Record natin. Okay, so let's move on to our next topic, and it's all about complex numbers in polar form. I am not so sure if you already discussed this when you were in grades 8 and 9. By the way, did you discuss or did your teacher discuss with you complex numbers when you were in grade 8 and 9? Guys? Okay, saan ba? 8 ba or 9? I think 8, no? Sa 8. Okay. Yeah, okay, good. So imaginary numbers in quadratic, no? Quadratic equation. Okay, thank you so much for that information. Okay, so our main objectives are we need to graph or sketch the graph of complex numbers, and of course in complex plane, because the complex numbers do not exist in the rectangular coordinate plane. Okay, may sarili siya class na space, which is called the complex plane. Alright, kaya nga pag ini-sketch natin yung graph ng parabola with a root of complex numbers or imaginary numbers, you cannot find that numbers there because it has its own axis or axis. Alright, may plane siyang sarili niya. And identify the absolute value or what we call the modulus and argument of a complex number. And convert a complex number in rectangular form to polar form and vice versa. Okay, these are the objectives that we're going to do or attain at the end of the session. All right, so first, let's define. Na-define na ba yung complex numbers before, guys? Hindi pa. Okay, let's define what a complex number is. All right, so it says here, a complex number, let me change the color to my favorite color. Joke lang. Oh, it's not my favorite. Okay, a complex number consists of a real number part and an imaginary part. So dapat may dalawa. May real, may imaginary. It is expressed as Z equals A plus BI. Z is the complex number. Ang tawag sa kanya, A is the real number part and BI is the imaginary part. Nakuha, guys. So let's dissect the complex number. I hope you still remember the structure of the numbers, okay? So A plus BI. Bayan, pen na to. Pasaway. Okay. Oops. Yung sarili siyang susulat. Okay. So Z class is what we call the complex number. Tandaan na, complex siya. Kailan sir nagiging complex? If it's a combination of real and imaginary. Okay? And how about this? Ito naman, yung A naman ay real number or RE, ang tawag sa kanya. Real, ang basa dyan. And BI is the imaginary or the okay? Or the imaginary number. So pag pinagsama mo tong dalawa class, when you add or subtract them, you'll get a complex number. Actually, lahat ng imaginary class can be converted into a complex number. All right? And how do we sketch the graph of, oh, by the way, what is I equal to? I is equal to the square root of -1. Parang pasay na ata yung notion na to, no? Everyone knows this. I hope so. Okay. And, saan nga ba ako? And how do we sketch the graph of the complex number? Okay? Now, the x-axis is what we call the real number. Ito yung A. Nandito lahat yung A. And yung y natin ay yung imaginary number. So which means that this is our x plus y. Alright? Ganun lang siya. Okay. So it means, kumbaga, if we have a coordinate, okay, the abscissa and the ordinate, sorry, the x and the y, kung may point tayo dito ng rectangular, it can be converted into a complex coordinate of AB. Ayan. Where A is the real number and B is the imaginary part. Okay, ganun lang class. So pag may A ka, dito siya sa x, yung imaginary mo, yung coefficient ng I mo, nandito siya sa y. And then, just plot the point. Nandito sila tatagpo. Just like the way we plot points in the usual coordinate plane. Alright? Naintindihan, class? Okay. So here, now let's graph the solutions for z squared plus 9 equals 0. So z here is a complex number. And how do we solve for the value of z here? Now, it's just like a basic algebra, a plain algebra. We need to find the value of x here, okay? So, or z, since we're dealing with z. So, just the same as solving for a quadratic equation of algebra of real numbers. So, this becomes -9, and we take square root on both sides. And again, ang dami nakakalimot nito, guys. Wait, may tanong ata. Okay. Wala naman pala. Nabasa ko na pala yun. So, ang dami nakakalimot dito. This is a misconception, grade 10. Nakakahiya kung madalan nyo to sa college, no? Na hindi nyo pa alam, ito, baka pagtawanan kayo ng professor nyo. At tanungin kayo, saan kayo nang galing? Anong school? Anong Pisay campus kayo? At sino yung teacher nyo doon? Yun yung mas nakakahiya doon. Okay? So, kailangan class may positive and negative palagi when you take square root on both sides. However, kung ang binigay lang naman ay 9 dyan, square root of 9, wala na siyang positive or negative kasi automatically it's positive. Hindi lang siya linagay. Okay? So, kailan nagkakaroon ng positive negative? When you take square root on both sides. Kasi nakikita ko to sa solutions nyo palagi, nakakalimutan nyo to. Alam ko na kung sino yung mahuhuli ng professor sa college. Okay, so this becomes z is equal to positive or negative. What is this? By the way, class, sige, isa-isahin natin para malinaw sa lahat. You can factor this out into 9 times negative 1. Di ba? Pwede mo siyang gawing ganito. And what is the square root of 9? That's 3. What's square root of negative 1? Sabi natin, square root of negative 1 is just equal to I. Alright? Ayan, ganyan. So, the answer there is positive or negative 3I. Understood, guys? Sir, bakit pa natin kailangan i-express sa I? Pwede namang square root of negative 1. For easy notation, yun lang naman, class. Easy notation lang naman. Parang, pag tinanong mo siya ng ganyan, sir, bakit pa natin ginagamit yung symbol na pi kung may value naman siyang 3.14? Sige nga, gawin mo nga 3.14156925. Tama bang value ko? And blah, 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 and so on. Tapos yung E naman ay 1.7 ba yun? 1.72 blah, 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 something like that. May kailangan notation tayo para mas madaling maintindihan. Okay? Mas madaling isulat at mas madaling basahin. Okay? That's why we use the I. Understood, guys? Okay? Naintindihan po ba? Guys? Wow, isa lang nakaintindi. Ang dami kong sinabi. Okay. If that's what you think, then let's move on. All right. So let's say our value here is equal to z. Bakit green? Si Hulk, no? Okay. Z is equal to A B. Ang hirap naman mag-change color. But sir, sino po ba sir nagsabi sa'yo mag-change color ka? Wala naman, ako lang naman. Okay, yan. So z is equal to a plus bi. The question there is, how are we going to convert the z, which is positive or negative 3i, guys, into a complex number wherein it has a and b. Okay, madali lang siya. So z is equal to, anong value ng a natin class dito? Guys, anong value ng a natin dito? Ayan, good. Very good, Kyle. So 0. My God. Si sir, ang arte-arte pa kasi. Pa-change color pa eh. Para kasi class, madali natin makita. Okay? Ganun talaga yon. Plus, ano yung B natin? Ang B natin ay, it's either wala, ayaw na tuloy mag-change color. Okay, class. Ayaw na mag-change color. Napagod na siya. Okay, so 3i. Sige na nga, ito na nga. Yan, para mas madali. Equals 0 minus 3i. Yan. So, Z1, Z2. May dalawa tayong root ng Z, di ba? Okay. So, eto, class, yung sagot natin. How do we sketch the graph? Okay, ganito. To sketch its graph, okay, sige. Okay, to sketch the graph, 0, ang 0 natin ay nandito. At again, ito yung may I natin. Ito yung may mga I's. So, 3I, nandito siya. Okay, the point here is 0, 3. Nakuha, class? Nakuha po ba ito? Madali lang siya, di ba? Parang grade 1 lang. Parang tinuturuan lang kayo mag-plot ng points. Okay, next. So we're done with this. Next, 0 minus 3i. Ang 0 natin ito, tapos negative ito. Ayan. So ang point na to ay 0, negative 3. Ayan. Nakuha po ba, class? Okay. Good. Yan, isa na naman nakuha. Isa lang atang estudyante ko dito. Okay. So now, let's learn how to sketch the graph of the given complex numbers. Okay? So unahin natin si number 1 class. Siyempre, palagi si number 1 mauuna dapat. Hindi sir kung saan yung last ang nauuna eh. Okay. So, our complex number is z sub 1, z sub 1 equals 4 plus 5i. So, ang 4 natin ay nandito, ito, at ang 5 natin ay nandito. Take note, 4 is the real number, and 5 is the imaginary, as you can see there. And then, let's find the point of intersection of these 2 points. Ito siya. Sir, may point of intersection yung 2 points. Oo, pag nagpa-plot ka ng points. Okay, so ito ay 4, 5. Gets, guys? Nakuha po ba yon? Madali lang naman, di ba? Okay, next. How about the second one? 3i minus 2. Ayan, number 2. Sulat natin. Z sub 2 is equal to 3i minus 2. Sir, sino po ba dyan si A at sino po ba dyan si B? Ganun pa rin, class. Palagi yan. Ang real number, yung walang I, at yung may I, ay siya yung imaginary. So, if you want, you can write this in this form. 3i. Ganyan. So, our point is negative 2, 3. Ganun lang siya kadali, class, ha? So, negative 2 nandito, real number, and imaginary number is nandito. Ayan. So, this is negative 2, 3. Ayan. Nakuha yung class? Sir, how about number 3? Number 3, class, ganun din. So, z sub 3 is equal to negative 3 minus 2i. So, negative siya, yung 3, at negative din yung 2. So, nandito siya. So, this one is negative 3, negative 2. Ayan. Ganyan lang, guys, yung pag-plot ng points. Okay? Para lang siyang nagpa-plot ka ng ordinary point. Okay. Now, naintindihan po yun, ha? Okay, let's proceed. Definition of modulus. Wait, did I record this? Yeah, I did. Better. So, the definition of modulus of a complex number. Ano nga pa class yung modulus? By the way, the plural form is moduli. Alright? Or the other term for modulus is the absolute value of a complex number z. So, eto yan. So, when you take the absolute value of z, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to take the negative values to positive. Walang ganon sa complex number. Pero class, yung concept niya parang ganon na rin. We want everything to be positive, something like that. Okay? Sabi rito, it is denoted by the this one, parang absolute value. Actually, absolute value siya. Pero ang meaning niya, modulus. Or it means the square root of the sum of the squares of the two parts, A and B. Ito yung formula natin. Alright? So, sir, ano po ba ang purpose ng modulus? Okay, ganito, class. Ang daling naman ng tanong na yon. Sino ba nagtanong ng ganun? Okay. Ganun yung tanong, guys. Okay. Sir, ano po ba yung purpose ng modulus? Ang modulus, class, ay isa siyang radius. Eto, class, yung modulus natin, the absolute value of z. Di ba, class, ang radius natin ay palaging positive? Kaya siya, absolute value yung concept niya. Okay? So this is the modulus of z. And how do we compute the modulus of z or the radius? You just need to take the squares. Square root, di ba? Halimbawa, r to, r. So r square is equal to a square plus b square based on Pythagorean theorem kasi naka-right angle siya, or right triangle. And r is equal to the square root of a square plus b square. Oh, ano kayong magandang pangalan sa r? Kasi hindi naman talaga siya circle. Since complex number tayo, gawin na lang natin z. Since positive siya palagi, absolute value na lang natin. Ayan. Diba? Ganun plus yung, hindi naman talaga siya yung reason behind, pero yung concept behind that content, okay, or concept is parang ganun. Nakuha class? Ganun yung, kumbaga, if you want to analyze and figure out the reason why you want it that way, because ganyan nga nangyayari. Okay? Did you understand, guys? Para mas madaling maintindihan at maalala. So that's what I do, okay? I make my own way or parang reason or ano ba? Yeah, parang mnemonics type pero ibang klase, 'di ba? Gagawa ka ng sarili mong paraan para maintindihan mo siya. Okay. So that's why when we say moduli or modulus, it means we're solving for the radius, the length of the segment of the point from the origin. 'Di ba? It's the